Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. My name is Addie. So on today's update is the latest travel advisory to the Philippines by the Bureau of Immigration. Details coming right up. So who can travel to the Philippines for the month of July? Number one, are Filipino citizens. You should have a valid Philippine passport. For example, you are a resident of a particular country, such as the United States, Canada. You should still be carrying a valid Philippine passport plus your resident card or green card. Also, if you are a dual citizen, you are allowed to enter the Philippines. In case you are traveling with a foreign passport but you are a dual citizen already because you don't have a Philippine passport just yet, you can still travel with your foreign passport along with your dual citizenship paperwork. So these are the paperwork given to you during your oath taking when you became a dual citizen. Foreign spouses, children, parents of Filipino national, as we mentioned, Filipino citizen and dual citizens. If you guys are traveling with your foreign spouses, foreign children, foreign parents, you are allowed to enter the Philippines without securing a visa. Just make sure if you are traveling with your spouse and kids, birth certificates, marriage certificates are on hand because this will be checked by the immigration officer and this will also be checked by the airline upon boarding. So please take note, Filipino citizens, you have to have a valid Philippine passport. If you are a dual citizen, you have to have your foreign passport and your valid Philippine passport. If you don't have a Philippine passport and you are a dual citizen already, please make sure to bring the paperwork given to you during your oath taking when you became a dual citizen. So our second category who are allowed to enter the Philippines for the month of July are the former Filipinos or balikbayans. These are Filipinos who went abroad, naturalized abroad, but did not apply for dual citizenship. You guys are still allowed to enter the Philippines. So what are the documents you guys need to present and able to be allowed entry into the country? So if you are using your foreign passport, of course you are using your foreign passport as a former Filipino or balikbayan, you need to have your old Philippine passport or your birth certificate issued by the Philippine Statistics Authority, formerly National Statistics Office. So you have to have either of both to prove that you were a former Filipino before. So this will be checked along with your foreign passport. Airlines will check this upon departure, as well as immigration will check this during your immigration process in the Philippines. So please take note, former Filipinos or balikbayans, these are the documents that you need to bring if you plan to go home to the Philippines. For foreign spouses, foreign children, and parents of former Filipinos or balikbayans are still allowed to enter the Philippines when you are traveling with the former Filipino or the balikbayan. Make sure if the spouses and kids and parents are traveling with you, you need to have your marriage certificate and birth certificates of the kids on hand because this will be checked by the airline upon departure and this will be checked again by the immigration officer when you go through the immigration process in the Philippines. Foreign spouses and children traveling with the former Filipino or balikbayan need not to secure a visa anymore. as long as you guys are traveling together. Just make sure to bring those documents I mentioned, the birth certificates of the kids, and the marriage certificate of you both traveling to the Philippines. And our last category are foreign nationals. Yes, foreign nationals are allowed to enter the Philippines, but you have to have the following. You have to have a valid visa and existing upon entry into the Philippines. So let's first discuss those 9A visa holders. So 9A visa is issued to the immediate family of a Filipino national. You need to apply this at the nearest Philippine consulate abroad. There is a catch for a 9A visa holder. You need to have the entry exemption document along with the 9A visa to be allowed entry into the Philippines. You can apply both of these in the nearest Philippine consulate abroad to where your jurisdiction is. 9A visa is required to foreign nationals if you guys are traveling alone. This is when your Filipino spouse is already in the Philippines, your kids are already in the Philippines, and you're coming over to the country to visit them and be with them. So the 9A visa needs to be secured as well as the entry exemption document. Another visa holder that is allowed to enter the Philippines are the 13A visa holders. These are foreign residents of the Philippines married to a Filipino national. If you have your 13A visa, you are allowed to enter the Philippines. This doesn't have to have entry exemption document. I have confirmed this with the Bureau of Immigration when I inquired about 13A visa. Another visa holder who can enter the Philippines this time are SRRV visa. So these are special retirees visa to those who are retiring to the Philippines. Before, they require the entry exemption documents for this particular visa holder, but they have already lifted that. So to all SRRV visa holder, you can now enter the Philippines without the entry exemption document. So I wanted to recap the foreign nationals that are allowed to enter the Philippines for the month of July are the 9A visa holders. This should be valid and existing upon entry into the Philippines, along with the entry exemption document for that particular visa. 13A visa or resident visa holder, you are also allowed to enter the Philippines. This does not come with an entry exemption document. So with your 13A visa and your foreign passport, with your marriage certificate that you are married to a Filipino national, you should be allowed entry into the Philippines for the month of July. Another visa holder who are allowed to enter the Philippines are the SRRV visa. You don't need to have an entry exemption document as well to be allowed entry into the Philippines. Your SRRV visa along with your foreign passport should be good to go for you to be allowed entry into the Philippines. So to those who are permitted to enter the Philippines, you should pre-book a 10 days mandatory quarantine in a hotel or facility. This will be checked with the airline as well. You need to have a booking confirmation that you have already booked your hotel for quarantine when you get to the Philippines. Also, don't forget to register for an ECIF QR code that you will need during your swab testing. So the current arrival and quarantine protocol to the Philippines is 10 days, mandatory quarantine in a hotel or facility. Then your swab testing is on the 7th day. Unless you are coming from the green countries and jurisdiction and you are fully vaccinated, you will have a shortened quarantine for 7 days. Then your swab testing is on the 5th day. So please take note of those. But if you are a traveler coming from the country that is not part of the green list that the Philippine government has already posted, then you will have to go through the longer quarantine despite you are fully vaccinated. Also, I want to remind everybody, to those who are permitted to travel to the Philippines this time, the categories that we just mentioned earlier, you should not have a travel history for the last 14 days to travel ban countries. If in case your flight is in transit with those 7 countries that are currently on travel ban to the Philippines, you are still allowed to enter the Philippines. But this is only for in-transit passengers passing through the travel ban countries at the moment to the Philippines. So please take note of that. I will have a separate videos on who are still part of the travel ban to the Philippines. That way it's not so confusing. So this video is to those who are permitted to enter the Philippines for the month of July. Then I will have a separate video to those who are not permitted yet to enter the Philippines for the month of July. So this is the latest travel advisory from the Bureau of Immigration. If you have any questions with regards to immigration papers, travel updates to the Philippines, confirmation, if you guys are allowed to enter the Philippines, you can message me through our Facebook page, the Eaton Squad, if you want an immediate answer on your inquiry. You can also directly message the Facebook page of Bureau of Immigration in the Philippines. They reply right away to your inquiry. So make sure to always confirm if you are in doubt, if you are allowed to travel to the Philippines for the month of July. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family whom you know that can use this video as reference. If you are new to our channel, welcome. We do travel updates, and if you are not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will be notified on updates like this. And to our subscribers and new subscribers, thank you so much for the continued support and trust to our channel, the Eaton Squad. I hope to see you guys on our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye.